tickets sold out MetLife Stadium, where today the 16-0 and playoff-bound New York Giants are taking on the 0-16 Dallas Cowboys. And why are the Dallas Cowboys 0-16? Because they suck. They got smoked once again in the first round of the playoffs at home. They got smoked because they suck. The Cowboys suck. Welcome to... And it just never gets old. Anybody out there at all is going to spend a little bit of time with me here this evening, I greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Or very much going to spend any time watching the replay this once again. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me. Going to try to go about 30 minutes here tonight. Shoot my mouth off for about 30 minutes. Anybody got anything to say, please feel free. Fire away. Throw it in the chat box. Usually try to check on the chat box like every 5 or 10 minutes or so. As soon as I see something in there, try to respond to it as fast as I can. So please feel free, fire away. But plus also, seriously, instead of me just rambling on for half an hour, 45 minutes, or whatever it might wind up being, it's just nice to talk to another Giant fan. So please feel free, fire away. Before I get started, if anybody wants to help support my channel out, it would mean the absolute world to me. In the description box below, the very top link in the description box takes you to my membership page. I got 3 different membership levels. The first one's called the Saquon. Second membership level I got is called the Lawrence Taylor. And the third one I got is called the Gridiron. Each one's got their own little perks to them. So if you want to help support my channel out, it would mean so much to me. And I thank you in advance. Thank you. If you are subscribed to my channel, once again, thank you. I can use all the support I can get, guys. But if not, please go down below, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell icon. That way, next time I go live or if I put a video out, you'll be notified. And it's free of charge, right? What do you got to lose? But if you are subscribed to my channel, thank you. Thank you all. And then finally, just a little ways down in the description box, there's 2 additional links. The first one, the top one, is a Facebook link, which I'll go over in just a second. The one underneath it, I'm an old-time fart. I hate change. Get off and on! I'm one of those old-time farts, right? It's a Twitter link. It's always been Twitter. It's be Twitter today. It's Twitter tomorrow. 3 trillion years now. From now, when I'm long gone, it'll still be Twitter. Whatever letter of the alphabet Elon Musk wants to call it, that's on you, bro. I ain't calling it that. It's Twitter. It's Twitter. Follow me on Twitter. I'll follow you back. That's an absolute promise. I put Giants-related stuff in the Twitter account every day. And I said that the link right above it takes you to my Facebook group. All right, it's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. We have over 7,900 members in the group, just shy of the 8,000 member mark. It's doing simply marvelous, might I add. Basically, if I'm alive and breathing, if I have internet access, I'm putting stuff in this group darn near 365. And not only do I put stuff in there, but the members. So if you become a member, you can post stuff in there as well. So between me and the members, there's a boatload. There's a ton. There's an awful lot of New York Giants information going in this group. Darn near 365. It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. It's my Facebook group. Please join it. You won't be dissatisfied. I promise. But all stuff said and done out of the way with. Well, I'll tell you what, man. Well, it's like my second point, but the salary cap. Holy cow, Batman. Wow. All right. We got a little bit extra money to spend. Cool. All right. But first I want to go over, it's you got to keep stuff in context, right? All this stuff and everything. But at least the Giants, as bad. I mean, I tell you what, you got to give the Jets and the Giants, you got to give them some kudos. You could see like this past season, like with the Jets. I mean, as far as like with the attendance and all that. I mean, they got the defense, right? And they had Aaron Rodgers, right? Hopefully, they weren't asking Aaron Rodgers to come in there and score 38 points a game or something, but can we get some points going, right? So, I mean, they once again, they got the defense and Aaron Rodgers, obviously was it 0.4 seconds into the season, bam, the season's over, or 4 plays. I mean, absolutely, unbelievably amazing as that was. 4 plays into the season. His season's over with. Absolutely unbelievable. But, I mean, give the Jets a lot of credit, right? They were number 2 in attendance. I mean, they had no offense. So the same thing with the Giants. The second and third teams in attendance had no offense, and they're still second and third in the league in attendance. Now, once again, we got to keep all this stuff in context here. A little context. I mean, as I read this manure about the Dallas Cowboys, okay. There was a couple articles I saw about this, but this one I took from Giants Wire. It says the Giants were among NFL leaders in total attendance in 2023. And, gotta love it, baby. Cool. I mean, not bad for a team that stunk. They had no offense. Yeah, pretty good. Pretty impressive. So the New York Giants may have been one of the worst performing teams in the NFL over the past decade, but don't tell their fans that, right? I mean, as I said, once again, tell the Jets fans, where the Giant fans at? Giants are still one of the league's top attractions. They were third in the overall attendance in 2023 behind only the New York Jets and the Dallas Cowboys. Right. The Cowboys, let's see, total attendance was, I guess offense. Yeah, offense. Home and road, home and away. The Cowboys were 1,378,000. The Jets were 1,285,000. So what is that? 7. So the Cowboys were about 93,000 ahead of what the Jets did. Once again, we got to keep this in context, right? Giants were 1,262,000. Okay, so the Giants were 23,000 behind the Jets. So I said once again, I mean, you got to give the Jets a lot of credit. Give the Giants a lot of credit too. 2 teams, the second and third highest total attendance for the season. Neither team had an offense. It was just defense. And they number 2 and number 3 in the league, and as far as attendance, so it's very, very impressive. Now let's see. Does it say it in this article? Because I saw it. Yeah, no, it doesn't say it in this article. I saw it in another article. This is apparently the 15th season in a row, okay, that the Dallas Cowboys lead the NFL in attendance. 15th. Just happens to correspond with one interesting fact, the 15 seasons, okay? Once we got to keep all this stuff in context. Now, there is absolutely no denying, I ain't calling them America's team. They're not America's team anymore. Maybe America's joke. I'll give them that. Right. They were more of the America's team back in the 70s, but one thing is kind of, from the 70s and the 80s and 90s, especially the 90s, especially when they're good, you got the bandwagoners. They're all, people from Czechoslovakia. I love the Cowboys, people from Uganda. I love the Cowboys, people from Canada, people from the moon, people from Jupiter, Mars, not mine, but Uranus, all loving the Cowboy, because basically what it is, they find a team, I mean? It's like, who's got a lot of Super Bowls? Oh, the Dallas Cowboys. Oh, I love the Cowboys. I can't stand people like that. And it's the same thing with soccer too. Absolutely can despise it. And people over here, it's liking soccer. What they'll do is they'll go into the big leagues, like La Liga, which is the Spanish league, okay? And, of course, they'll either like one or 2 teams, either Real Madrid or Barcelona. Why? Because they're the top 2 teams every year. But except for every now and then, Atletico Madrid every now and then wins the top. That's my team. Usually Atletico is 3rd or 4th or 5th down, right? But for them to win the La Liga title, Spanish league, right? They got to earn it, right? I can't stand is these people and they'll like also they like the Italian league, because most of the low life turds, right, who that jump on the bandwagon, who do they like? Juventus. Why? Because every year Juventus is number 1. What I mean? Who do you like? Who's good? Well, Juventus, they win every year. I love Juventus, baby. Whee! Same thing with the Spanish league, Well, I like soccer, right? Well, who do you like in Spanish league? Well, I don't know. Who's good? Real Madrid. Well, I love Real Madrid, baby. Whee! Low life, absolute freaking turds. Who's the best team? Oh, I like them, right? That way every time, woo, my team won, woo. Well, your team wins all the time. I mean, why don't you have a little some calmness to you, right? Right? Grow a pair, right? Go out and pick a team that has to earn it. Because you got like Real Madrid. These teams spend hundreds of trillions of dollars every year bringing in the best of the best. It's like Alabama. Well, Alabama's good. Oh, well, I love Alabama, baby. Well, why? Because they have 755 trillion five-star recruits. You know what I mean? Well, Nick Saban, why don't you get like one-star recruits? Have your whole team with one-star recruits, and let's see you go win a championship. You're not going to do it. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's a joke, absolute joke. I can't stand these people. They jump on the band. Well, who's a good team? Well, such and such. Oh, that's my team, baby. Woo! Get the fuck out of here. I absolutely can't stand those people. And that's why like the Cowboy fans and stuff like that, because the one thing I hate the Eagles, despise the Eagles. But a couple of things about the Eagles, the fans, I can appreciate. It's from the heart. I can appreciate this. Now, once again, I can't stand the Cowboys, the Eagles, and the Commanders. I feel sorry for them. But, okay, I'll get back to my other point in just a second. But there's no three other teams in the NFL I would rather have in the same division with the Giants than it would be the Eagles, the Cowboys, and the Commanders. Those three teams. If I get three other teams, I got the Giants, and you give me three other teams, those are the three teams I want. Because that's the NFC East, baby. Whether you like the other teams, you hate them, despise them, respect them, that's the NFC. Give me the Eagles, the Cowboys, and the Commanders. I'll take them over any other team. I care less. You give me the Giants, Cowboys, Eagles, and the Commanders. Boom. Now you got yourself a division, baby. Right? Right on. NFC East. Right? But going back to my other point with the Eagles, right? I said I can't because I'm about. It depends upon how fast you drive, of course. But I'm like 20, 25 minutes from like the Walt Whitman Bridge. And you drive across the Walt Whitman Bridge and you're like in South Philly. Okay. And that's right where the Eagles are at. Right. The Eagles and the Phillies and all that, and the Flyers and the Sixers. That's where, right. So I'm about 20, 25 minutes from Philly land. Okay. So, around here, a lot of Philadelphia Eagle fans for the most part. But I said, I can't stand them. They're arrogant. It's like basically, it's like if you don't like us, if you don't like our team, we'll beat you up. Right? That's their motto, right? But anyway, just taking all that hate and all that stuff, put that aside. The two things I can really respect is that they are passionate. Okay, they're very passionate. If things are going well, okay, their teams have some awesome fans behind them. I'll tell you, they're rowdy, they're passionate, they love, and all. They're passionate. Right? Especially the Eagle fans, they are very, very, right, very passionate. Okay. And the other thing I can appreciate about the Eagle fans, okay, is unlike the Cowboy fans, is that you don't have with the Eagle fans a lot. You're not going to have somebody from like Oregon, right, growing up. And, somebody says, you like football? Well, yeah, I like football. Who's your team? They're not going to go, I like the Eagles. They're not going to do that. You'll get somebody from Oregon maybe liking the Cowboys because they're just jumping on the bandwagon and all that, like all these other fake fans. But usually, for the most part, you're going to have a lot of Eagle fans, but they're in this area here, the Eagle fans. They're for the most part, they grow up in the Philly area. They're passionate about their team, because they grew up around here, right? You're not going to have, for the most part, a lot of people growing up around here liking the Cowboys, right? Except for my son. But, so there's a lot, I got a lot of respect for the Eagle fans in a couple of respects, right? But anyway, getting back to this attendance thing where the Dallas Cowboys, okay, leading the league in attendance and all that, right? I read there's a couple articles on it. I just picked this one out. I'll finish reading it in just a minute. But there's one they led the league in attendance the past 15 seasons, which just happens to correspond, okay, to the opening of their brand new stadium. 15 This is the 15th season Jerry World's been in existence, 2009. And interestingly enough, right now, when the Giants sell out, let's see, where do I have it at here? Hold on. The first game of the season, when the Cowboys came to town. All right, this is about as much as you're going to see the Giant Stadium hold. Dallas Cowboys at the Giants. Here we go. Week 1, 80,809. Okay, that's a pretty much about max. Okay. I don't know, maybe it's a little bit more, a little bit less, but 81,000. Okay. When my son and I went to the first game ever in Jerry World in 2009, first game ever, it was the Giants and Eli Manning. We went into Dallas and we beat them. Yeah, love it. But they also, I believe it's still a record in the continental, in the United States, right? In the United States, as far as attendance for a game. I took a picture of it too, because the scoreboard is like 300 miles long. It's huge, and they had it on the scoreboard, and I took a picture of it. And I got it framed and all that. My son had it on his wall when he was growing up, but he's gone. We still got the picture. It's somewhere. I don't know where it's at, but we still got the picture. But there was over 105,000 people in the stadium. Now, exactly where they put 105, I don't know. But there was a picture. It said there was another game. I think it was in Mexico. I don't remember who it was, whatever. But I think there was like 106 or 107 or something like that. And so that wasn't the most all time attendance for an NFL game. Okay, so I think there was one in Mexico that had more. But then in the United States, there was over 105,000 people were in Jerry World. Okay. So let's go back this and out. So let's go to, I just picked this game out here randomly too. It was the Jets, okay, at Dallas. Okay. So the Cowboys at home, they're staying for the game against the Jets. They had 93,689. So 93, almost 700. Right. So the Giants had about the Giants had about 81 for the Cowboy game. The Cowboys against the Jets, the seller had 90. Well, let's see here. They had 93,689. Let's see now here. I got that was a road game. Let's see. I'm trying to see here. Yeah. Yeah, their game against when they beat the Patriots had 93,719. Trying to go ahead here. Trying to find when they played the Giants. Once again, I mean, had to be over 93,000. Let's see. Then they had a home game against the Rams. They had 93,448. Giants ain't too far from here. Let's see here. I mean, because I'm sure that here we go. The Giant game, 93,338. All right. So basically, once again, you look at it, and and it's like, congratulations to the Cowboys. For once again for basically the fifth. I saw an article said the 15th season in a row, leading the league in attendance, which is rather remarkable. You know what I mean? Jerry's World. I tell you what, that's a heck of a stadium. It's an unbelievable stadium. It's really big. The one thing I do have about it is that doesn't make much sense with Jerry's World. Is why do you make it like, you got the glass at the end, at the one end zone. Why do you have it like with the rising and the setting of the sun? Why do you have it where, when the game starts at like 1 o'clock or whatever it is, the sun is like, if you got to look into this, it's blinding. Like if you're playing on offense, right? and you're lining up, you like a wide receiver going to the line of scrimmage, right? And the sun's behind you, okay? And you're looking down the line, right? You look at the ref points to you're okay, you're not offside or not like that, right? And you look, right, and he snaps the ball, and you run. It's ABCD Lambs running his route, right? Runs a 10, whatever. Turns around, whatever. And he's blinded. He can't, with the sun. And Dak's throwing a pass. He can't see the ball. Why, in God's name, would you have something like that where you basically can't see? It's blinding. That makes no sense at all to me. But anyway, as I said, there's a reason why the Cowboys have led the league in attendance the past 15 seasons. Once again, corresponds with opening of Jerry's World for 15 seasons, 2009, 2023, 15 seasons. So basically they have, I guess probably the biggest, as is, it's a beautiful stadium, really beautiful, state of the art at the time. Well, it's 15 years old now. So, I mean, I don't know what they're going to do in another fit. They're going to knock it down. I don't know. But let's see. Texas Stadium opened up in 71, 81, 91, 01. So that lasted about 35, 36, 37 years, 38 years, 37, 38 years. So, but, basically what it is, they're leading the league in attendance, but their stadium can hold 93, almost 94,000 people on a weekly basis. So you got 8 or 9 home games at basically like 93 or 94,000 people. Meanwhile, the Giants, if they're selling out their stadium, they have like 80, 81,000. So basically when the Cowboys sell out a stadium or when they play a home game, they have 93,000, right? The Giants have like about 80. So every time there's a home game at Dallas and every time there's a home game with the Giants, the Cowboys have automatically 13,000 more. Why? Because their stadium holds 13,000 more people. So you got 13,000, right? Plus another times 8 or 9 home games, right? So there's automatically an extra 100,000 fans that the Cowboys are going to have that the Giants or the Jets are not because their stadium is bigger. Put them in a stadium that holds 50,000 fans. So let's see if the Cowboys, lead the league in attendance. Not going to. Why? Because their stadium's not that big. So, I mean, so you got to keep all this stuff in context, give a little grain of salt here. And, when you see the Cowboys leading the league, hey, McKee, it's so great. No, not really. No. Their stadium's that big. As I said, if the Giants stadium held 100,000 people, right? And every time there's a home game, the Giants got 100,000 people in there. Guess what? The Jets will be leading the league in attendance, right? So keep that way. If you ever read that or whatever like that, just keep a little grain of salt. Keep that in context, right? It's because every time the Cowboys have a home game and the Giants have a home game, the Cowboys automatically have about 13,000 more people because their stadium is bigger, right? So I said, over the course of the 8 or 9 home games, there's automatically 100,000 more people the Cowboys are going to have than the Giants. So if you look at this here, if you take away 100,000 people, okay, here we go. 100,000 people. The Cowboys would have 1,278. The Jets had 1,285. So the Jets would have won. Right? Okay. It says here, while many may see this as simply a signature of fan loyalty, it goes a bit deeper than this as the numbers show. The Giants and Jets play at MetLife Stadium, which holds 82,500 fans for football, the most in the NFL. Well, no. Maybe, but then Dallas puts another 10 or 11 or so thousand in their stadium somehow, just by having people where they can stand at one end zone. There's a place where you can stand. They got cheerleaders up there, and there's a place where the glass is at, where the sun comes shining through. That people can stand there and all of that and everything. So maybe they might have more seats, but Dallas Cowboy Stadium puts more people in there in a weekly basis. Since MetLife is followed in capacity by Lambeau Field in Green Bay and AT&T Stadium in North Texas. As you can see, Those are the top 4 teams in the above graphic. There's also the element of tickets only made available through season subscriptions rather than game by day. Fans of these teams have to buy all of the games up front every year, making it much easier for teams to reach their capacity during the season. Now, how many fans actually attend the games is another story. We've seen quite recently in MetLife Stadium where the amount of empty seats was quite noticeable. Yeah. No. That's absolutely true. But the thing is it says here, it holds 82,500 fans for football, the most in the NFL. Well, consistently, if how do the Cowboys want to get 93,000 in theirs? If they can only hold like say 81,000, why do they have an extra 12,000 every time? Yeah, because they might have people that come, standing room only tickets and stuff like that and everything. So their stadium's designed, or however they have it, where every week they have 12 or 13,000, however, more than the Giants do. That's why. And as I said, you're never going to have the Giants hold the most in MetLife Stadium, whatever. 82,500. Well, congratulations, whatever. You're never going to look up on the scoreboard and say, congratulations, we'd like to thank everybody in attendance here. We have 110,000 fans for today. The Giants and the Cardinals want to thank you here from MetLife Stadium for having 110,000 people in the stadium. You're never going to see that, right? Like I said, like on whatever day it was, but in 2009, the Giants at the Cowboys in 2009 opened up Jerry's World, and it was over I think it was over 105,000 people were in that stadium that day. Right? I said maybe they don't have enough seats or whatever as MetLife, whatever, I don't know, but they let a bunch of people who can just come in and standing room only or whatever. Right? The Giants don't. The Cowboys do. Right? So as I said, so every week that goes by, every time the Cowboys have a home game and the Giants or Jets, whatever, right, the Cowboys automatically going to have 10, 11, 12,000 more, 13,000 more, whatever, than the Giants. Right? So keep that in mind when you see the Cowboys leading the league in attendance. Once and also too, if the Giants were 12-5 or whatever it was every season, they'd be selling out too. There were some empty seats, and I understand. Yeah, I understand. You go on StubHub or Ticketmaster or whatever like that, and sometimes you want to get maybe a good seat or a 50-yard line seat. You're gonna pay what, $500, $600, $700. I mean, you can get nosebleed seats or something, right? But if you want to get some good seats or something, it's like, or unless you want to go way up in the upper deck, but it's like, I want to drive there, right? Could be some nasty weather. Pay $50 to park my car, $700 for a hot dog, $3,000 for a bottle of water, and spend, I don't know, $300, $400, $500 for a ticket, $200, $100, $150, whatever, $200 for a ticket to watch this trash. I'll watch it at home. That way, if I want to go to the bathroom, I can go to the bathroom. There's no line. I can get myself something to eat, do whatever I want to do, right? Save myself a lot of money. Right. So, obviously there's that too. Got to keep that in mind. If the team is better, they would have better attendance. But as I said, when you see that, just, realize that the Cowboys always somehow have what must be the standing room only. They have people they give tickets to. They can, walk around and look at the game. That's got to be it. But the Cowboys always have 12 or 13 more thousand than the Giants do every game. So, but as I said, one thing you got to give the Giants and the Jets a lot of credit for, right? I mean, they got a big stadium, but both teams stunk. Okay, both teams, neither team had an offense. So for them to be second and third in the league in attendance and they have no offense whatsoever, you got to give them a lot of credit. Got to give the Giant and Jet fans a lot of credit for showing up, and in some instances, just watching pure trash, right? So, all right. So that's that. But tell you what, how about the salary cap, huh? How about that salary cap? Oh, we got here. Blowing up, baby. All right, what's we got here? This is pretty cool here too. I think it got the the tag numbers. Pretty cool. Pretty interesting. Salary cap explodes to 255. I heard it might go to 248. That's what I was hearing about. I'll tell you what, 255. Wow. Very impressive. The NFL must have hit a few jackpots during the 2024 Super Bowl in Las Vegas. The salary cap for 2024 season received a historic bump and is set at $255.4 million, baby. Yeah. The new number marks an unprecedented, absolutely, year-over-year increase of $30.6 million and puts the cap at more than double where it was at a decade ago. So in 2013, it was $123 million. So basically 10 years has gone from $123 million to $255 million. So it's doubled, more than doubled. The number, which is about $10 million to $13 million more than the previous estimation, is the result of the full repayment of all amounts advanced by the clubs and deferred by the players during the COVID pandemic, as well as an extraordinary increase in media revenue for the 2024 season, according to the league. There will be an additional $74 million per team available for player benefits, including performance-based bonuses and benefits for retired players as part of the approximately 48% of league revenues awarded to players. Very impressive. Welcome to the new era of gambling being accepted in the NFL. So that's so, said former NFL general manager Randy Mueller, an analyst for The Athletic. Players should thank Commissioner Roger Goodell for new international exposure and leaning into the wagering world. It has increased the pie for players to unheard of heights. So, got to give them some credit there. It's an especially good time to be a free agent because more teams can engage in bidding wars now that more than half of the league, 17 teams, have at least $30 million in salary cap space, according to Over the Cap. That means the top of the market deals at several positions could be reset, and a rising tide will lift the boat for lesser players. So it's a good time. Good time, man. It says, take example from most prominent free agents in New York. The $1 to $2 million gap in guaranteed money that prevented running back Saquon Barkley and the Giants from agreeing to an extension last offseason seems even more like relative peanuts at this point. Yeah, I mean, that's what it was. Last season, it was like the amount of guaranteed money was like $1 million or $2 million a year, right? Or $1 million. It said $1 to $2 million gap. Now I'm not sure if that was a $1 to $2 million gap per year. Like they offered him $24 million, but he was kind of hoping to get 26. I don't know, but I mean, now we got some extra money to play with. Let's hope they can get something done with Saquon, because unlike some people out there, and it doesn't mean I'm right. I would rather see the Giants have Saquon. And with $255 freaking million out there, if you can't pay this guy $10 million a season, I get it. I understand all this stuff and everything. If you can't pay this guy $10 million a season, I think something's wrong. If the Giants were to reoffer the deal with Barkley, turned down last August at 3 years, $33 million, with about $23 million guaranteed. I guess he wanted $25 million guaranteed, or even meet his slightly higher asking price, it would account for less of a chunk of the salary cap than it would have last July. In fact, all running backs whose contract market has stagnated might benefit from the influx of resources at a time when many top runners are free agents. There's a lot of oh my God, the free agent market. Holy cow. Wow. This is the prices for franchise taking Xavier McKinney is $17.1 million. I don't see them doing that. Jets defensive end Bryce Huff will be $21.3 million, or also are the less exorbitant in the light of the new salary cap. Which is true. This is true. If the Giants put a transition tag on McKinney to maintain the right to match any free agent contract offer that he receives, as the Post previously reported is under consideration, the cost would be $13.8 million, which is, I think that's very reasonable for him. And it would be far from the top of the positional market that could grow beyond the current $19 million per year for the safeties. Let's see here. For a team perspective, contracts like the earlier extension signed by Giants All-Pro tackle Andrew Thomas through 2029 only should become a bigger bargain. You got that freaking right. As the salary cap grows and contracts for comparable players get larger. Oh, yeah. Oh, my goodness. And swallowing dead cap charges for Daniel Jones, like the $22.2 million if traded or released in 2025, is more manageable now, because that $22.2 million is a smaller percentage of the overall cap, right? So don't forget that. The bigger pie also should help players who are on the bubble to be salary cap casualties in situations where teams are looking for some extra savings. Now, let's see what we got now. The Giants here, okay? Now, this is according to Spotrac. They got $38.9 million, according to them. If you go to overcap, they got something else. I could go Spotrac, but I mean, there's ways of them even boosting the money up even higher. But I did see here, this is pretty cool here. The non-exclusive, the franchise tag, okay? Quarterback, franchise tag's $38 million. Oof. Running back, the franchise tag is $11.9 million. Non-exclusive rights, franchise tag. Wide receivers, 21.8. The tight end, almost 12.7. Offensive lineman is it's almost 21 million for the offensive lineman. Defensive end is 21.3. Defensive tackle, 22.1. Linebackers, $24 million. Whew. Cornerback, the non-exclusive franchise right for a cornerback, 19.8. The safety is 17.1, which is be Xavier McKinney if they were to put the non-exclusive franchise tag on him. But they're probably going to do the transitional tag, which I'm going to go over in just a minute. And kickers and punters would be 5.9, almost $6 million. So the transition tag for quarterbacks, 34.3, running back 9.7, wide receiver 19.7, tight end 10.8, offensive lineman 19, defensive end 19, defensive tackle 18 point, almost 5, linebacker 19.9, almost 20, cornerback 17.2, the safety, kicker punter 5.4, and the safety, which is the transition tag, which is something they might wind up putting on Xavier McKinney, 13.8. So 13.8 compared to 17.1, right? We got 3 million? 3.3 million in savings, right? And of course, like I said, for like Xavier McKinney, it could be just a placeholder. You try to work something out. You got to like the middle of July to work something out. Okay, the transition tag. But that also goes out. And I said something wrong. It was in my video a couple of days ago. I believe I said if they put a transition tag on them and another team offers him a contract and the Giants don't want to touch it or whatever, and he goes to the other team, I said that they don't get no compensation as far as draft picks. But now, like the franchise tag, if another team offers them and the other team, which very rarely ever winds up happening, because if another team, the Giants put the franchise tag on, say, Saquon, right? And if another team wants to come in and swoop in and give Saquon a bigger contract or whatever it is, they have to give 2 first-round picks. So not only they get the player, but they got to pay the guy, right? And they got to give up 2 first-round picks. So that's very rare that's going to happen. And that's not, if they put the franchise tag on Xavier McKinney, nobody's going to come in and pay $18-19 million for Xavier and give up 2 first. That's not happening. But the Giants, if they put the transition tag on him, he can go out, hey, I went to the Chargers. They're going to give me $14 million. I got this, whatever contract, 3 years, 14, but they're going to guarantee me 30. So 3 years, so basically $42 million, 30 of it's guaranteed. And the Giants are like, ooh, it's a bit too much. So he can go away. So the Giants the following season could possibly get some compensation or compensate a comp pick. Depending upon it, also depends upon, because like with the franchise tag, it's like if another team signs them away, they're like guaranteed to get 2 first-round picks. Okay. The transition tag, if you lose them, right, that would be like you'd be just losing a free agent. So then it goes to how many free agents you bring in compared to how many free agents you lose. And then there's a formula. And I don't think anybody even knows what the formula really is, even the NFL. And so there's a possibility they can get a comp pick for losing Xavier McKinney. But it says, once again, I believe it depends upon how many free agents you sign compared to how many you wind up losing. But if it's the franchise tag and another team winds up signing them, right, you got to give up. That's a guaranteed 2 first rounders. So that not many people are going to wind up doing stuff like that. But the one thing I like about with the 13.8 million for the transition tag, that's a fair amount for Xavier McKinney. I don't think he's a top safety. Maybe he might be worth a little more, maybe a little less or whatever. I think that's very, very fair for him. But if they put that on him, right, you can go out there and see what he can do, and then it comes back with a deal or 2 or whatever. See if the Giants. But the nice thing is now, okay, is that the Giants have, $38 million or so. They can do some restructuring of some deals. They'll let Lewinsky go, which I'm going to go over in my next article, free up some more money. So, they could possibly bring back Saquon. They can bring back Xavier McKinney. They can sign their draft class. Well, they're not bringing back Adoree Jackson. I highly doubt that. I'd love to see him bring Isaiah Simmons back, but that's going to be a lot of that's going to have to depend upon Bowen. Because it's like, obviously, Wink and Shane, of course, they're talking, and Dable, everybody's just talking, and Wink went up to go, they're talking, and Shane knows what Wink wants and all this. So Shane went out and, hey, is Isaiah Simmons available? And they said, yes. Give us a 7th round pick. Yeah. Yeah. You smoking? Oh, yeah. Just say, So they gave up a 7th round pick, but Shane's just not going out there and bringing in guys and okay, here you go, Wink. Here's Isaiah Simmons. Who? Say, why? I can't use this guy. No, so they're talking. You know what I mean? So when Shane goes and brings him in, Wink, they're in cahoots. It's like, yeah, cool. All right, I gotta play. I can use this guy. He may not get in there 80% of the snaps, but I'll get him in there, and I can use him. Oh yeah, all right, baby. Yeah, Now the thing is with Bowen, it's like, what do you think about Isaiah Simmons? Do you think you have any place that you could use him or something? He may not, right? He would have a lot more of a use for Xavier McKinney. So I think re-signing, and they're both stars. I think Xavier is probably a little bit better. Isaiah Simmons, I think, has a better athletic, ability to him than Xavier McKinney does. But it's one of those things with Isaiah Simmons. He's like a tweener. He might be too big to be a cornerback, or he's too small to be maybe to be a linebacker, or it might be too light to be an edge rusher. You can't put him on the line. So it's like he has certain traits that you can use him for here and there, but it's kind of like, and it's like well, we'll bring him back. Yeah, we can sign him. We can bring him back. But, it's going to cost. You go to Spot Track. I don't know what they're talking. Oh, I think I clicked out of it. I click out of it. Oh, nope. Wait. Yep. Nope. There we go. They got him worth on view. This is like $16.5 million. I have no idea. So, $16.5 million. I'm finding that really hard to believe that Isaiah Simmons is going to get $16.5 million from some. They got a 4-year deal for $66 million. 4 years, 66. I have a hard time believing somebody's going to pay him $16.5 million. Really have a hard time. I could see maybe the Giant maybe offering him, but it's got to be, Shane's got to go to Bowen. It's like, do you think he can use him or something? And Bowen, yeah, I can use him. But then Shane's, it's kind of like, okay, it's going to cost us $13 million a year, what's the percentage of plays you're going to put him in there? 10% of the plays, maybe 15. Forget about it. I mean, they got to get some bang for the buck. I mean, the thing is that, his salary, was affordable last. It cost him a 7th round pick. So if they brought him in and Wink only used him, like saying a third of, I didn't look up to see how many snaps he was in. But if Wink only used him for like a third of the snaps, it was still the bargain. He cost this much, right? And, it costs a 7th round pick. There's the money it costs and on all that. And, but we played a third of snaps, and he's a good talent. So okay, that's fair, right? The problem is that if you do let him go, right? He gave up a 7th round pick for him, which you're not getting back. But this also kind of goes, what I've talked this before, is that is what you can't keep doing. You can't keep replacing coaches and coordinators and GMs like your underwear. You can't. Oh, it's a new day. Let's get a new coach in here. Oh, it's a new day. Let's get a new coordinator. Oh, it's a new day. Let's get You can't keep doing it. Because, you brought in this guy, maybe to fit maybe the Wink defensive schemes. Now, of course, he's gone, right? Now, and he may not fit the Bowen scheme. So that's why it's so difficult to win or to be successful, to build a winning system or team and organization and all of that when you keep changing coaches every 2 seasons. So I said, so you gave up his, so if worse comes to worse, we've signed Azeez Ojulari, you lost a 7th round pick. Not that every 7th round pick is going to turn into a Brock Purdy or something like that, Mr. Irrelevant or whatever, but you'd rather have the 7th round pick than not have it. I mean, a 7th round pick can turn out to be just some good depth at a certain position or a good special teamer, right? A contributor. Right. So, if they wind up letting Isaiah Simmons go, but Spot Jack's at $16.5 million for him. It's like, wow, that's a lot of money. I can't see somebody paying that much for him. I can't see anybody paying that much for him, but we'll have to wait and see. All right, and finally, I did see this. There was a blueprint. kind of interesting. Fixing the New York Giants, an off-season blueprint for Joe Schoen. This is from Ed Valentine, Big Blue View. This one's got a little link to it here. It says the NFL Scouting Combine is next week in Indianapolis. It's like freaking Christmas around here. It's like there's always, and then after that, right up just about a little bit after that, you got the free agency rolling on, right? And then you got the pro days, and then about a month or so later, you got the draft. It's freaking bananas. It's crazy, right? Teams will be interviewing draft prospects, putting them through medical exams, and watching them go through athletic testing all week. That, though, won't be the only business conducted. We know that Giants Joe Schoen has said he will speak with Saquon Barkley's reps at the Combine to try and work out a contract agreement now, which hopefully should become a little bit easier because with the more money they have. And, let's not forget, next season, salary cap's going to go up. That season after that, guess what it's going to do? It's going to go up. It's going to go up. It's going, right? So, the nice thing is they can work out some kind of a deal here. The biggest sticking point, okay, is the guaranteed money. And that's what it's always is. So can they agree on that? But, if they can bring Saquon in this season, as I said, once again, they got to agree on the guaranteed money. But, it should be a little bit easier this season. But, you can usually, what you try to do is when you work out a deal, usually the first year, right, you give him a signing bonus. And the first year, so if he's averaging, say, $10 million a season, you give him a signing bonus, and instead of it's not $10 million, right, it comes down to $7 million. So for the first season, so you're kicking a little bit of money down the road, but you're kicking the can down the road a little bit, but the salary cap's going to go up. So it's not that as bad. But I'm saying, so this season here, you might get Saquon for maybe $7 million a year or $7 million, right? Let's hopefully they can work something out. All right, so we got here. First thing, Big Blue, Ed Valentine says, cuts. Shaping the 2024 roster starts with trimming players from the 2023 roster that you don't want to go forward with. Cutting veteran guard Mark Lewinsky is a no-brainer. The Giants seemed to have little use for Lewinsky last year when they were desperate for decent offensive line play, and Lewinsky still had guaranteed money on his 3-year, $18.3 million contract. The Giants can save $5.7 million against the cap by cutting Lewinsky. It's almost $6 million. There seems to be little doubt that they will do that. Now, I mean, you look at it too. I mean, if they work things out, basically by cutting Lewinsky and getting almost $6 million, that's almost could quite possibly be equal to what they might have to pay Saquon this season. I mean, they might have to pay him $7 million or so, right? But, I mean, if they give him a signing bonus and they kick a little bit of money down the road, not too much, right? It might cost them $6-7 million. Well, that's the money that you'd be saving if you cut Lewinsky. So it's almost a wash right there. You cut Lewinsky, you got yourself Saquon Barkley, right? For no money, right? So let's hopefully they can work something out. I hope they can. As a smaller move, would likely they could save $1.3 million on the cap would be to cut Aaron Robinson. Oh my God. Tell you what, they had some high hopes for him and all, but the guy and the injury he had was very, very bad from what I hear. You want to improve the Giants' always troublesome injury situation? Stop rostering players who are almost always hurt. And Aaron Robinson is hurt 138% of the time. It's just absolutely amazing. After they drafted him, he came in. He had to have muscle core surgery done. I mean, it's like Ellerson Smith. It's like Shane Lemieux. It's like, what the is going on? How come these guys can't tie their shoe without blowing out their kneecaps? It's simply amazing. So if you cut Aaron Robinson, 1.3. So if you cut Aaron Robinson, who's never available, and you let Lewinsky go, that's $7 million you're saving right there. You get rid of Aaron Robinson and Lewinsky, $7 million. So you got $7 million, you can give that to Saquon. There you go. All problems solved, right? Said, one move I am not making is to release tight end Darren Waller. Yes, Waller is hurt too often. No, he didn't give the Giants everything they hoped for last season. Yes, cutting Waller would save $6.6 million against the cap. Who replaces him, though? Well, how about that guy? How about if they take the guy, what's the guy's name? Brock? From Georgia, the tight end. How about drafting him at number 6? I think he'll be available for the Giants at number 6. You let Waller go, you save $6.6 million, and actually the money you're saving by cutting Waller is would actually go to pay the tight end at pick number 6. Now you got Bellinger, and I forgot the guy's name from Georgia. I think it's Brock. Well, let me see here. Let's type this in here and see what we got. Tight end from Georgia. Brock Bowers. There you go. Right? So basically, that's what's going to cost the Giants, okay, in his salary for the first season would be like $7 million, $8 million, or something like that. So that's about the money it would cost you to get Waller. So then you have Bellinger and you have Brock Bowers. Right? You got your B&B combo. You got Bellinger, who can block, who's got good hands, and then you got Bowers, who's an All-American tight end, right? And then in the second round, if you want to get that freaking crazy, in the second round, there's still very, very good wide receivers available. So you can have Bellinger, you're going to have a young Bellinger, a third-year Bellinger. You get Brock Bowers, a stud of a tight end. You get Hyatt, you get Robinson, you got Slayton, and you get a second-round wide receiver. You may not quite have your dog wide receiver yet, but if you took Brock Bowers, he may not be good as Kelsey or something like that or whatever, but I'll tell you what, you're set at tight end, and you got yourself another good wide receiver in the second round, right? So and if you can bring Saquon back, right? in the second, your other second round pick, you draft an offensive lineman, right? So, let's see here. So, but he says out about that, who replaces him now? Well, I said if you draft Brock Bowers with pick number 6, because I really would think Brock Bowers is going to be there at number 6. So if you can sign or draft someone to be pass catching tight end option, I would consider it. Not without filling his role first, though, and that makes a lot of sense. I can certainly understand that. That makes a lot of sense. Because Waller, pencil it in. He's going to miss. He's missing time this year. Just pencil it in. You don't know how many games, but he's going to miss games. That's it. Yeah. But the 12 games, maybe 13, 11 that he's there, he's a nice little weapon for you. Right. But I said, so if you can find someone to replace him, I said, like maybe Brock Bowers, right? Then you can let him go. And as I said, you let Waller go. If you were to draft Brock Bowers, the money you save him with Waller, right? That's basically what it's going to cost to get Brock Bowers in there. Right. Then again, Dunze, or was it Neighbors or whatever? I mean, Harrison Jr. is not going to be there. I highly doubt that. But I mean, one of those other 2 wide receivers, those are dogs. So if you draft one of those guys, right? You got Slayton, you got your dog wide receiver, or whichever one, Dunze, whatever, right? You got Robinson, you got Hyatt. So now you got you set at wide receiver. You bring Saquon back. I forgot if Daniel Jones is quarterback or not, whatever. But right, then you have Waller and you have Bellinger. So you still could use a real good dog of a tight end, right? But you can maybe let Waller go maybe after this season, whatever. But it's a nice tight end class too. Decent. But if you're going to draft a tight end, get him early. Maybe if you're not going to grab Brock Bowers, that's all I'm hearing, maybe the second round or something like that. But let's see here. Oh, okay. Restructuring some contracts. The Giants currently have 19.4. Well, this is before this article. This is before the salary cap came up. All right. At 255. The cuts outlined above would save the Giants some cap space. The other way to gain cap space is to restructure contracts, lowering the current cap hit and pushing money into the future years. So, I mean, that's one of those things Shane's going to have to think about, I mean, how much do you want to kick into the future years? Kicking can down the road, right? Spot Track lists the Giants following his restructure candidates. Daniel Jones. I don't think they're touching Daniel Jones' contract. Darius Slayton, Andrew Thomas, Sexy Dexy, Bobby Okereke, and Graham Cano. Says, I would consider restructures for Thomas, Lawrence, and Okereke. Those are cornerstone players, yep, who will be the Giants for at least the next few seasons. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Spot Track says the Giants could save as much as $14.4 million for Thomas, 11.9 for Sexy Dexy, and 5.4 million in Okereke. Those 3 moves plus cutting Glowinski would add roughly $38 million in cap space. $38 million. So you figure they have saved $38 million in cap space, plus now they have over 30. So they could possibly have like maybe, I don't know what there's, according to what they're saying here, okay, is, the Giants could have anywhere from 70, 75 million or so, maybe if they restructure, they let Glowinski go, cut Aaron Robinson. It was a good player, but always injured. And the last injury he had, apparently from what I'm hearing, is the knee injury was very, very bad. So if and when he's able to come back from that, who knows? But it was supposed to be supposedly a very bad knee injury. It wasn't just like an ACL. It was like an ACL, a BCL, a CCL, a DCL. It was like, it was bad. Then we got the quarterback conundrum. He says, I have talked throughout this offseason regarding how aggressively the Giants should approach the quarterback this offseason. In the end, though, I have the following my own rules. Rule number 2 is the one that applies here, that rule. I don't know. I have no idea. If you don't have a franchise quarterback, get one. So, I mean, which does make a lot of sense. Now, obviously, a lot of that also has to do with, it's get a franchise quarterback. Obviously, easier said than done. Now, the thing is, there's a few things the Giants could do. Now, there's some rumblings, and the rumblings will grow as time goes by. You'll have maybe a little better feel what the Patriots might want to do with 3. Are the Bears going to rock and roll with Fields? They're going to trade him. What are they going to do? So the Giants will know, right? You still got 2 months till the draft, so the Giants will know, right, if they're able to move up, right? And you think, right, that the 3 quarterbacks will be taken in the first 5 picks. You're not sure. But, one might slip to 4 or 5 or whatever, and maybe the Giants can maybe jump up a spot or 2, maybe, if they're in love with one of them. If they are in love with one of them, okay, having Brian Daboll there, right, the quarterback whisperer, right, is not a bad thing. If you think that's your guy going forward, and it would give Shane and Daboll, or at least Daboll, an extra year or so, right, of time. If Daboll thinks that one of those 3 quarterbacks, Caleb Williams won't be there, but May, right, Daniels, one of those 2. If he's in love with, like we say, with Daniels, man, if I can get my hands on that guy. Kind of like the way Ben McAdoo was talking about, oh my God, the guy for the quarterback from Kansas City. He was drooling over him. Right, Patrick Mahomes was drooling over him. Man, if I get my hands on that guy, and the Giants, I don't even think even tried to trade up to get him. Anyway, but if Dave was drooling over Daniels or something like that, and he slips to say 4, maybe 5, right? Giants might try to jump up and maybe grab him, right? If you think you can rock and roll forever with the guy for the next 10, 15 years, jump up and get him, right? Because that is real. It's tough to win, right? If you don't have a real good quarterback, tough to win. Then he says, "What about Saquon Barkley? I have been over this one a number of times. I would offer Barkley 2 years, $20 to $22 million, with about $15 million guaranteed, using a void year to lower the cap hit. If he won't take that, I would let him test free agency, with the caveat that he would bring any offers back to the table to see if I wanted to compete with that." Yeah. That's very fair. That way, instead of screwing with Saquon or this or that or whatever, right? Just say, "Hey, this is what we're rolling." And he's like, "Nah, I want a little bit more than that." All right, well, just put it there, Bear. All right. You go out there, bring us back whatever offers you get, and we'll see if we want to match it. If we want to match it, right, we'd love to have you. We know you want to be here. We'd love to have you. If not, you go there and you make more money, right? So that's fair. Re-signing Xavier McKinney says, if I'm the Giants, I don't want to lose McKinney. He's talented. He's young. He's 24 freaking years old. 24 years old, and he would really excel in the new defensive scheme. I really think. With Bowen. I really think he'll do good in this system. He's a homegrown second-round pick. When he is playing well, he can be a difference maker. I also don't want to pay him top 5 safety money, meaning $15 million or more. I don't believe the sum total of his 4 years with the Giants makes him worth that. I do like the transition tag idea that has been floated if a deal can't be reached by March 5th. That is $13.97 million charge against the cap rather than the 16.22. All those numbers changed a little bit. It tells McKinney that you value him and you want to have a chance to keep him. It lets McKinney shop his services to the open market and gives the Giants the opportunity to continue negotiating and to match any offer that McKinney receives. And that's fair too. What if it comes down to is if I can keep McKinney without breaking the bank, I would like to. If someone out there wants him badly enough to pay him $15 million or more per year, so be it. Well, I think I really think with the new salary cap here, I can see $15 million Yeah, the new salary cap numbers that just came out, I think 15 million is a lot. It's the same thing with him. 4 years, 60 million. Just throwing a number out there. 40 million guaranteed, because it's the guaranteed money that that they So 4 years, 60 million, right? 40 million guaranteed. But but instead of 15 million a season, you give him a signing bonus, whatever, $10 million, or whatever. You spread that out. So instead of his 15 million, he might only cost you 10 million this season to have Xavier McKinney back. And next season, when the salary goes up, well, the salary cap goes up. So it's not that bad. So that way you can bring back Saquon and Xavier, right? You can help your defense out. You help your offense out, right? And you still have plenty of money left to play around with. I mean, this is with the restructuring of some of the guys, right? And with the salary cap going up, this is huge for the Giants. Really, really huge. Now, because the other thing too is you don't want to be going out there. Well, we'll bring in 13 new free agents. We'll pay these guys like we're going to Gurley World. We'll bring in all these guys. No, you don't really want to do that. We saw what that happened with the 2016 Giants. They brought in Snacks Harrison, Olivier Vernon, Jack Rabbit, right? They went out and it worked 2016, but after that it was right. So you want to maybe fill in a spot here or a spot there or whatever. If you're bringing in free agents, right, lesser valued free agents, ones that they can contributors, maybe help out on special teams or whatever like that. But you don't want to try to bring in, let's bring in 13 new starting free agents, right? We'll bring them in and we'll throw them in and no. So I said, if you can keep Saquon and Xavier around here, that'd be fantastic. Then he talks about however, he says the offensive line. The Giants want to approach reconfiguring the offensive line revolves around how they choose to proceed with Evan Neal. Now that's gonna with Priscilla. That's gonna he's gonna be looking at the film of Evan Neal, and he'll be like, yeah, I can. No, I can't. Yeah, I can. I can make him a functionable right tackle, or it's like no, we should slide him inside. So that a lot of that's going to be up to Priscilla. It's he's going to be looking at this tape and he's going to make the call on that. I really think that's what he thinks is going to be huge, absolutely huge. And then they're talking about maybe bringing a Luminor in, sign somebody in free agency, right? Maybe a tackle, right? Maybe maybe sliding Neal in. It says, I want to give him one opportunity working with new offensive line coach, Carmen Priscilla. That said, I'm not putting all my right tackle eggs in the Neal basket. I want a better backup plan than the Giants entered last season with. I want a better backup plan than Tyree Phillips, an adequate fill-in, but not a guy you want starting week after week. So, and of course, you got to upgrade the edge. That's huge too, yeah. Because Azeez Ojulari, you can't. Yeah, you can't rely on that guy. And he was even healthy last season. And when he was in there, it was almost kind of like is Azeez even on the field. So I say this again and again, the Giants need more pass rush, and the best place to get that is from the edge defender position. I'm not waiting around and hoping Azeez Ojulari can have a healthy, productive season. No, because he's not going to. Right? No. If new defensive coordinator Shane Bowen is on board, I am making a play for explosive pass rush Bryce Huff of the New York Jets. Now, that's somebody they could, with the new salary cap, and they restructure some deals and stuff like that. That's something they could go after Bryce Huff. That's somebody they could. That's if the Jets will let him go. I don't know, they might franchise tag him or not. I don't know. But if you can, I would get Bryce Huff without question. Make that one big splash. Get yourself a edge rusher. You have Kayvon, you have Huff, and if need be, you have Azeez Ojulari coming in off the bench. Sexy Dexy in the middle, right? You got the two edge rushers. You got Xavier back, right? We're not a stone cold solid lock. The defense, it's not a done deal with the defense. You still got some pieces to go, but now you're starting to add some pieces to the puzzle here, right? I said if you got a Carrick, you got Sexy Dexy. If you bring in Huff, right? You got Kayvon Thibodeau, you got Banks, you got Xavier McKinney. I'll rock and roll with Pinnock. Man, that's like 7 guys, right? You got maybe Cordell Flott in the slot or something like that. Maybe McFadden you could think about, maybe, right? Maybe a Flott. You're only a couple pieces away from having a really, really good defense. So if I'm going to make one big splash, I'm not doing it with a wide receiver. Absolutely not. Give me this guy, without question. But he does say if I can't get him, or if Bowen would prefer a more well-rounded, if less explosive player, I would make a pitch for Andrew Van Ginkel of the Miami Dolphins. I think he's the one that went in that hurt Daniel Jones with his neck. He's that dude. He's a player. That guy, Van Ginkel. He's a player. Van Ginkel, a 2019 5th-round pick by the Dolphins. I'll tell you what, a heck of a 5th-round pick. Holy cow. Will be 29 next season. He is coming off of a 6 sacks, 69 tackle season in 17 games, 11 starts for Miami last season. Remember Kyler Fackrell? Remember him, right? Who had a nice year for the Giants in 2020. Well, Van Ginkel reminds me of an upgraded version of Kyler Fackrell. Pro Football Focus ranks Van Ginkel as its 59th number free agent and expects a contract value of 2 years, $13 million. I mean, $6.5 million a year. That would be a very. Then of course, then he says, there's a couple other things. He says, get another cornerback. Ed Valentine, he's got this list here. He's like, get an edge rusher, get a cornerback, get a quarterback, get a right tackle, get a left tackle, get a wide receiver, another wide receiver, get a tight end, get another tight end, get a this, get a that. Just bring in these 37 new guys, and man, we'll be good. You can only do so much. You can't fix the whole team in 1 year, right? I said, if you get yourself another edge rusher, if you can get Kayvon and another good, if you could, yes. And I said, in the draft, I said, if you either get the tight end or a wide receiver in the first round, unless you fall in love with a quarterback. Oh, yeah. And get Dexy some help, too. If you can get somebody, bring back A'Shawn Robinson on another 1-year deal. Robinson gives nothing to the pass rush, though, but he's very good against the run. I would try to sign former Texan Danico Autry. He's 34, though. I don't know about that, but let's see. And I would look to use a mid-round draft pick to add to the defensive tackle rotation as well. Yeah, that's very fair. I like that. That's very fair. Bring somebody in because Jordan Riley will be there. Right, got DJ Davidson, Jordan Riley. So but if you can get somebody in, maybe your 3rd-round pick or 4th-round pick, try to bring somebody in. That wouldn't be bad. But once again, it's building. Right, it's not going to be. It's never going to be fixed. There's never a time where the GM takes a stogie about this long, right? Lights it up, right? Kicks back, hand down, puts his feet up, boom on the desk, puffs on that cigar, and say, "We're done. The roster's complete, baby. There's nothing else we can do." That's never going to happen. It's never going to happen with any team ever again. Ever happened ever again, period. You can't upgrade it or nothing like that. It's never, ever, ever, ever going to happen. It's always a building process. We're not going to the Super Bowl this season, right? Hopefully you bring in a couple good free agents. Maybe you re-sign a couple of your own guys, bring in a couple of free agents who will be with the team for a few years, okay? Who can really, like maybe a Carrick, right? Another Carrick or something, right? But, right, bring back McKinney, sign an edge rush, something like that. And with a good draft this season and next season, we're going to have some money too. We're going to have some money to spend next season too. Don't forget about that. But then another good draft next season. And I think we might be, knocking at the door at, being hopefully maybe a perennial playoff team. Hopefully perennial playoff team. But we're still building, right? Like I said, we're not going to, it doesn't matter who we're, I really can't see the Giants going to the Super Bowl next season, no matter who we draft at number 6. Right. So, all right, guys, it's been 1 hour and 14 minutes. I think this is a record. Anybody spent any time listening to me live, thank you, thank you, thank you. Or if anybody spends any time watching the replays, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me. As always, you guys stay safe out there and go. Woo! Oh, yeah.